wait till everybody gets in here. It has been, it's supposed to rain all day in Paris. And then of course it didn't until right about the time I needed to leave my apartment to come here. And then it was pouring. I made a little video on my Instagram stories. It was hailing, and then it was thunder and lightning and just heavy, heavy rain. And then it stopped. So I made a break for it. So we're here in the Musée. And I'm gonna try to use, I have like a little tiny, my gimbal didn't work when I got to Paris. So I just have my little tiny tripod. So I'm kind of hoping they don't notice, because you're not supposed to have selfie sticks or anything like that, but it's really small. Hey, Coretta. So, and it's very crowded in here. I'm not used to coming in here. I sound like a spoiled brat.
Oh yeah, that late afternoon.
I'm used to coming in here at 9 a.m. as a member. You come in a half an hour before it opens. And so I usually am up here in this section of the museum with just myself and the security guards. So when I got here about an hour ago and it was literally just a sea of people that you couldn't walk through, I thought I was going to lose my mind. So I think, well, I'll keep an eye on if anybody else comes in, but we probably have a shorter period of time because the museum closes at 6 and they'll probably start kicking us out about 20 till. So we'll just get moving here. So they've changed some things probably since you've been here at the last time at the Orsay. They moved some things around as they like to do. These amazing Toulouse-Lautrec paintings used to be downstairs on the first level. Now they're up here. This one is amazing. It's La Goule and Valentine. And if you listen to our podcast about her, we did a great one about her. And then on the upside is this one. There's a lot of people, guys, sorry. You might see a lot of backs. And then this one's really cool because there's La Goule dancing. And then in the middle, in that dark, with that beautiful hat, it's Jane Avril. And to the left, that is Oscar Wilde. And then the little guy to the right is a little bowler hat. The black one is Toulouse-Lautrec himself. But these are really, really cool. And they were made for the exposition. And then if you listen to our podcast about her, after she decided to stop dancing, she became a lion tamer. And she asked Toulouse-Lautrec to make those again for her. And there's actually, I'll take you over here real quick. There's actually a cool picture of what that looked like. So that was like where you go and then you watch a little lion taming show. See, La Goule. It means glutton in French because she had a thing of going up to the customers and picking up their drinks and guzzling them down. Another favorite painting of mine is this guy. And Henri Fantin-Latour did a few of these stunning paintings that are all groups. This one is dedicated to Manet, who you see there in the center. And it was the men of the Batignolles, which is where Manet had the studio later in life. And so it was a big gathering place, and there was a lot of other artists out there. You also have up there, you have Victor Hugo, who's kind of looking off towards the right. And then the man, the tall one looking left is Basile. And the little guy in the corner peeking over, that's Mr. Monet. But I love Manet. And I love these paintings by Fantin-Latour. And there's an even better one in the next room. Of course, you all know this thing. It is because it's really still muggy. And I think Ellen's in here, and I think Ellen's in Paris right now. It was muggy. And so the other window is very foggy, but you could see my beautiful Louvre through the window. You know my rule, always look out the windows. So you can see over here, you can see the top of Saint Augustin. You can see the obelisk and the orangery. and all these great statues up here. Can you tell how the clock is actually reflected on that? I took a cool picture of it. It's kind of neat. Okay. Brace yourself for this. There's a lot of people in here. They have actually thinned out a little since I got here. And there's one whole room up here that's empty, which is kind of sad because it was all the Kai boat paintings. So this is all part of the collection of Etienne Moreau Neleton, and he has a collection that's also in the Louvre. But this is his Impressionist collection that ended up coming over here. And he has some of the greatest paintings. Also in the Louvre, he has some of the most greatest paintings, like some Delacroix. But of course, I love this one because it's Manet, and it's our girl, Bert Morisot, who was an amazing painter in her own right. But check out this Monet. I think this one is so cool. I stood here and looked at it for like 3 minutes. I just love like the garlic. I don't know, it's just like, I love it. And then there's this guy. He's the guy in the middle. That's right. Well, not her, thank you. This is why I come when I'm alone. But of course, it's Delacroix and Henry Fantin Latour. And it was at the funeral of Delacroix, and he was kind of shocked that it wasn't a bigger occasion and there wasn't more people there. So he actually had never met Delacroix, and he decided he wanted to do a painting dedicated to him. With Charles Baudelaire over here with the fancy looking hair, Manet with his red hair there, of course. Whistler, it's James Whistler standing up, and that's Fantin Latour right there. Doesn't he look like he should have played like the Wolf Man? I've always thought he looks like, what was that? They remade it like Michael J. Fox and a bunch of people. Like he turns into a wolf. I always think that. But these are all part of those paintings. This is all his collection. I love this one down here too. Sorry. Manet. Peonies. I love anything that's Manet. And of course, you can't. There's some security people, so I'll try to be discreet. But of course, Déjeuner sur l'herbe. So amazing. Déjeuner sur l'herbe, and then Suzanne. And then on this side, we have the version of Monet. I'm trying to be sneaky. You have this one that Monet did. And at the time when he did this, it was actually much larger. It's a very strange shape now. And it was because he had given to somebody for rent. Monet basically till the few last years of his life did not have much money. So he was always borrowing money from people. And one time to pay rent, he gave as collateral this painting, and the guy had stored it in his, let me try to get around some of these people. The guy stored it in his basement, and it had mildew and got ruined. So that's why it's cut into this very strange shape here. How it has that little weird shape to it. There's less people than when I got here, thankfully. But still, this is always a very popular spot to come anyway. Also, the escalators are not working right now. They are doing something to them, so keep that in mind when you come. This room, of course, has Sicily and Cezanne and Pissarro. And one of my favorite, Monet. The Rue de Montorgueil. He did 2 of these. This is, I posted about this painting, I think it's on Bastille Day. And he had gone to just basically ask somebody if they could come into his apartment so that he could paint there. And at the time, he was already Monet. Like, people already knew who he was. And he went in there, set up his easel, and just painted a scene of the street down below. Can you imagine? Here's some of my other favorite ones. Another Manet. I'm very sad that one of the rooms is empty. They're getting ready for something. They're setting up in there, so all the Caillebotte paintings are gone. This one, I love this one, the Degas in the cafe. It's also the absinthe, people call it the absinthe. And as Donna Carroll said, there's no leg to the table before. But he wanted to paint this and he couldn't find people sitting in the cafe sad enough, depressed enough. So he ended up finding a friend that was an actress and another painter and had them pose for him. I love that painting. I always thought it was so sad. And then when I learned it was actually just models. And then Manet here with his Georges Clemenceau. Whose Clemenceau is, of course, a big political figure in France, Le Tigre. There's something coming up about him this week. Eva Gonzalez, who we also did a podcast episode about, which you would think is maybe Manet when you look at this, because she worked with Manet, which made Mauriceau very, very jealous. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous painting. And in the middle back here, this side, of course, is all the dancers of Degas. And then, of course, over here, we have the little dancer herself. Oh, 5:30. Well, let's get moving here. So this room is there's basically, I'll have to link afterwards and send them to you, that there's so many of the ladies we talked about on the podcast. And of course, you have these two amazing paintings of Renoir, the city dance and the country dance. Then we have Suzanne Valadon on the left. She sat for all three paintings. The other painting, I believe, is in New York. But all three paintings she was supposed to be in. But then Renoir was in his studio, and his partner, Eileen, who's over there on the right, came in, saw the two of them working together and got really jealous and basically started attacking the country dance. And so he had to slightly redo it and painted her in instead. The cathedral paintings right now are not here of Monet, but you have these gorgeous paintings. And then also one of my favorite ones, last month was the anniversary of the death of Camille Monet. And this is that painting. And it's so, so sad, but it's also just like stunningly beautiful when you look at his face. That he just watched her and he said he was compelled to pick up his brushes and start painting. Well, that horrible Alice, his second to be wife, basically plotted to destroy everything that was Camille's. It said, burn it. Pissarro. Mary Cassatt, we also did one about her. You could definitely tell Mary's and Bert's, they definitely have that very soft, this is Bert Marisol. They definitely have a very soft feminine quality to them. They're so beautiful. I wish I really wish the Kaibo paintings were here. This Pissarro. Give you a little Sunday morning meditation on these. I've always loved this one. It's so bright. And this one. And this, I mean, look at how gorgeous this is. Pissarro with the shading and the looks like a late sunny day, summer day. Oh, gorgeous. Monet and his water. Always with some water. Don't worry, we're going to see the turkeys. You know the turkeys. I love the turkeys. Another great window. You see Sacre-Cœur. You can see things are starting to turn. You see a lot of red out there. Tomorrow's supposed to rain all day, so supposedly. Guy thinks he's going outside. I've never seen that open for people. Yes, you know the Degas, the one back there, was done after he died. I don't know if I remember seeing this guy, Monet. I'm hoping we get all the way over to Van Gogh, so we'll see. Since there's a whole room that doesn't have anything, this next room. And it's really hilarious because there's a sign saying they're getting ready to put something in here that has to do with Baudelaire. And people keep coming in here and looking at the bench like it's a piece of art. And Cezanne. Some of these had at one time, there he is. Some of these at one time have been in the Musée de Luxembourg. And so some of these were the actual paintings that Hemingway would go into the Luxembourg and see and look at after Gertrude told him to go there and study his paintings. So I like to look at these and think we're looking at the same one. This, of course, he painted this a million times. The St. Victor Mountain down in the south of France. I really love the still life of that piece of meat. I think I went right past the turkeys. Everybody's looking at the plaque for the benches. Where is it? Usually there is that amazing painting of Notre Dame right there. You know, it's probably at the Orangery where they're having a exhibition. Just get squish our way. I don't like crowded places. I worked retail for far too long to be able to deal with it. So this is the newer section. If you haven't been here in the last few years, this is a whole newer area that they moved all of this Gauguin over here. Gauguin and Bernard. They moved all of these over here. Oh, it's so much cooler in here. It's a really beautiful room. And usually most people just walk right through these two rooms and barely pay attention. Maurice Denis. And how beautiful that is. And those books. Love that. More windows. Hopefully I could get home without it. That's beautiful. Iris or lilies, lilacs. One of those things. That was this is when he had his whole period at the Pont Aven. Look at this window. Look at here. So this next little room changes all the time, but it's really cool. And a few people stop and look in it. It's also photographs. And like this is what this picture Hugo. Look at this cute. But it's really, they always have, sometimes they have some really cool prints in here. And photographs on the houseboat, the log cabin. Sometimes they're dedicated to, last time in here, they were all a bunch of ones about the monuments in France, so which was really cool. A bunch of churches and the Eiffel Tower, early paintings or photographs, I'm sorry. Look how pretty that one is. These ladies reading. We have some really cool pictures like this of people in our family. This is a the Basilique Saint Remy in Reims. Love it. Love how they curated all those ones of ladies reading. Oh boy, brace ourselves for this next one, guys. I'll come in here the week after this. This week I have tours twice a day, every single day. So, but the week after I'll come in here in the morning before it's open and make some videos. So you can see all this without all the backs of people. So this of course is all the Van Gogh. Much different when it's not full of people. Starry Night. I've never seen the other version of Starry Night, but I'm really excited to go see this exhibit. It's out of the Fondation Louis Vuitton. It's a Russian collector's collection of paintings of Impressionists and Post-Impressionists. They say it's one of the finest collections ever put together. So I'm excited in a couple weeks to hopefully get out there to see that. And then Madame Gachet, who was the wife of his doctor, which I believe, yep, he's over there. I always love this one because look at how thick. You can really see just how thick his painting is. So cool. Love it. You just feel Vincent. And that would have been towards the end of his life. And then this next one freaks me out. Don't they look like they should be Oompa Loompas in Willy Wonka? Their little faces really give me the creeps. But I love all the blue and all of like the movement and the gorgeous painting. The two little girls. I really do need to get out to Auvers-sur-Loire. Maybe I could try to do that. In the church. Which is really cool because the colors, like up in the sky, it's like a stormy day. The top is dark and then the bottom is so light. It's like today. This is in the garden of Dr. Gachet. So Dr. Gachet not only is Van Gogh's doctor, but he is also the doctor of many artists. And he actually had his very own large collection of paintings that his children later gave to the Orsay, including this painting of himself, of Gachet. And there's a whole bunch of them downstairs in the Louvre. There's a room with a whole bunch, and there's Renoirs and Monets and Pissarros, and a whole bunch. But I love this painting with the flower. I wish I could do it live at 9 o'clock in the morning here, but that would be midnight for you on the West Coast. So it'll be a little late. You just watch how people take a photo but don't really look at it. Or they're just looking at it through their lens. This guy's really looking at it. I like him. So beautiful. It's just happy with all the swirls, but you look on his face and he's just so sad. Vincent, if only you knew. I'm glad people don't. And then on this side, we have some more Gauguin. Maybe his more controversial Gauguin at the moment, which bodes a very good question about art. I had a big conversation about that with one of my clients the other day. Oh, and we have some more TL. I love Toulouse-Lautrec. And it always makes me sad that there's not more in Paris. I've always loved this little guy. And that's one of my favorites. And of course, Jane dancing. She, if you listen to that podcast episode, she had this funny tick. And I would say it's something maybe more like epilepsy, but she ended up using it to her advantage because it kind of went with her one-of-a-kind dance moves. So he always kind of tried to, it was painted her like there where you see like her legs kind of very odd. But it worked for her and to her advantage. These, of course, Toulouse-Lautrec like to paint the ladies that were mostly forgotten. So a lot of like, this is one where she's getting ready for a medical inspection. There's another one where the madam is watching. And this one called Alone. You can decide what that one's about. But he, he would paint paintings of these dancers and prostitutes because they were kind of really forgotten. Degas did that with the ballet dancers who, if you read up on the story of the ballet in Paris at the time, it was a much darker, those paintings have a much darker note behind it. These are really cool. So make sure, well, you kind of, there's a little thing there, you can't go out, but I always tell people to make sure they go all the way through this because this is kind of neat. It has a little thing about the movies. This is a cool one with Montmartre. It's like some of the first movies. But with the ballet, Degas, he has those paintings where you see the girls and then you see the men in the suits. They were called subscribers and they paid a certain amount. So they had like a membership to the ballet. And so with that membership, they got to go to a certain amount of shows as well as backstage. And so a lot of times the mothers would push their daughters to go to talk to them. And because these rich men would then take them kind of under their wing and, could pay for their life. So these escalators back here are working. They usually only they start at like the first floor, meaning the French second floor. There's a little small exhibit here about books. I love that painting, that Courbet painting. And this painting actually at one time had Baudelaire and Jean in it, and then he kind of painted out because Baudelaire got mad at her, painted her out. Next time we'll do this, we'll try to start it earlier, even though it might be a little earlier for you guys on the West Coast, or just at least by 7:30. Then that way we can have a little more time before they kick us out. I was supposed to go to a little shindig on Ile Saint Louis, and it got canceled because my friend is very busy and has some crises at work. But it worked out because I would have had to race from here home and back. So it all worked out. Is this exciting walking down the stairs? I'm sure it's not very pretty, but I'll come in next week at 9 in the morning and make a video, and then I will send it to all of you guys. I could kind of do this. I could do the walk. I could kind of do the same thing and walk through and do it without all the painting or all the people, without all the painting, without all the people, and send it to you guys so you guys can enjoy it without thousands of people. Here, of course, we have the inside center. That is that Statue of Liberty was the one that used to be in the Jardin de Luxembourg. That is the one that Hemingway would have gone and talked to, kind of like his own personal saint. You have down there those two big, huge medallions are Dante and Virgil. Let's see if we could kind of go. Let's see how far we could go before we could yell that. See if we could go in here, because if we can, there's that. Should be the Cezanne painting in here. Dedication to the Cezanne. Oh, it's so much cooler. Now this is more like it. If you do come, when you do come to Paris, if you are going to come here to the Orsay, it's so inexpensive to become a member. It is, if you're already a member of the Louvre, it's then only 42 euros. And it's like, I think it's 16 euros just to come to the Orsay. So if you're going to come here, like Dawn and Carol, I think a duo is not that much more. These are gorgeous. Like Carpo. Hey, I don't think I've seen this room before. I'm going to come back in here. Oh, this is Napoleon III's son. This is dog. These are all, this is by Carpo, who of course did the dance that's on the outside. So who do you think that guy looks like? Does he look like somebody? Does he look like maybe a certain emperor? This was Napoleon's son, Napoleon Joseph Charles Paul Bonaparte. It was his son with his mistress, Alexander Dumas. I don't see this was on. Usually it's down here. But anyway, if you become a member of the Orsay, you got to come in at 9 a.m. by yourself, just you and other members. Usually there's only maybe 2 of them in line. And usually if you go straight up to the top or come kind of to these side rooms, you could end up being, you could have way more than just that 30 minutes. You usually will, you could come in here. Like I've been up on the top floor in the Impressionist Gallery for like an hour and a half before people got there. Because most people start from the bottom and work their way up. A few of the smart people know to go straight up to the top. This, the Roman orgy painting, is a stunner. It's got a lot going on. It's gorgeous. And then the center here. Of course, you see the clock and all the way around. And then that down there at the end is the Carpo. The ladies with the globe, that's also the, oh gosh, let's go see this. It's really quick. Just because I love him. Jean-Baptiste. Do you know what we're gonna go see? Olympia. She's so gorgeous. She's looking right at you. I love how like it shocked the salon, freaked everybody out. They rejected it. And then his good friend Emile Zola wrote a book about it, wrote a little pamphlet. Manet painted him. And look who we put up here in the corner. Except for this one, she's looking down, but this one was accepted by the salon. So in the end, Manet got her in there. Zola was a huge proponent of quite a few different artists. I just love this painting. Here she's looking straight up at us. That one she's looking straight. She's looking down at Zola like, thank you. I love Manet. Somebody the other day asked me who my favorite of the Impressionist period, even though Manet would say he was not. But I do love Manet. I don't know. Oh, I think I can't get in that room right now. I love all these paintings by Tissot. There's some security guys there, so they'll probably tell me to leave. Oh, but luckily it's sneak across. This one always kind of gives me the creeps too. It closes at 6, but they say they're going to start emptying at 5:30, and then everybody just thinks they have to go at that time. This is the Cachet collection. So they moved this. So this is Dr. Cachet's collection. Used to be on the other side. I've always loved this one. I think it's because of the statue that's by Cezanne. These are these amazing Cezanne that I just don't think they look like you would think. Cezanne paintings, look. I love that one. And this little guy. And these are all, and this one, okay, I love this one too. Because this is Cezanne's interpretation of Olympia. So you have the cat, you have the servant, you have Olympia, but then he puts the viewer into it. So then the other one, we imagine she's looking at the viewer, and in this one, the viewer is actually in it. Cezanne, maybe a little bit of a déjeuner sur l'herbe there. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad these are over here, guys. I really wanted to see this exhibit. I'm so sad that COVID, I couldn't see it. So I'll have to see if they have a book in the, you know me in the gift shop. It's got Manet, and that's his wife. Also her, she was a piano teacher. She was brought into the family to teach he and his brother's piano. And then it's rumored that his father had an affair with her, and then so did Edward Manet. And then we're not sure if who her son, who's in this painting. Edward never said that he was his son, so something maybe Edward's father was. And then you have the balcon, and that up there in the front is our girl, Barrett Morisot. That other gal right there. Her father had a very successful umbrella company, so she's painted with an umbrella. And then in the background, really faintly there, is Manet's son, maybe not son. Love that one. And this may be one of my very favorite Manet paintings. This one of Bart Morisot. It's called The Bouquet of Violets, which you could barely tell. Here, actually, there's more light in here. I'm glad they moved this in here with more natural light, so you could see it. But that's one of my very favorite paintings. I love it. Absolutely love it. She was in mourning. It was after her father died, so that's why she was wearing all black. Degas as himself. All Degas. I do love that they move things around. Degas' father was a musician, and he taught musicians, and so they were in his house, and so he painted. Degas painted sometimes. Uh-oh. He's gonna get up. Wait, okay. Messy. Yes. A ghost, a ghost. I can pretend that I didn't know what that means and go the other way. So there we are. There's our fantastic, beautiful Orsay with all the statues. But I will come back next week, after the week after this, in the morning a couple times, first thing in the morning, when it's empty, and make the same, go the same path for you guys. So you can see everything, and I'll send it to you directly. You can see everything without all the bodies and my growling at all of the people. But the Orsay is worth it. It's a beautiful, beautiful museum. That's got some Napoleon. Thank you, Carol. I really wish I could have spent more time up there showing you guys more stuff, but with all those people, it's a little difficult to get around. But I will go back in there and make some more for you. Now we're down here, and there's Dante and Virgil. Let's say hi to him. Dante. Hey, Dante. Hey, Virgil. They're always together. And that regal beauty. So, and then I'm not sure where next week. Saturday is Nuit Blanche, but it doesn't look like they have a list of stuff out yet. I was thinking we could always do it Saturday night. But in 2 weeks is the Fête de Vendange up at Montmartre, the wine festival. So I was going to try to do it from there next Sunday, or 2 Sundays. So I will leave you guys at that. So we'll figure it out, and I'll post about it. But thank you guys all so much. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday and a wonderful week. And send me messages if you guys, there's something you guys want to see at all, let me know. I appreciate you guys all for joining and supporting me. And thank you guys so, so much. And I'll see you soon.